Hi, I'm Alicia and welcome to my channel Papercraft Secrets. Today I'm sharing a set of 10 Mother's Day cards that I've created with the Mintay Graceful collection. This is a new collection released by Mintay. This set of 10 cards is a kit available on my website at www.papercraftsecrets.com.au. I'm going to take you step by step through how I made each of the cards. So let's get started. Today we are working with a sketch that I've created. We're going to be working with the Mintay Graceful 6x6 paper pad. That's full of beautiful designs, especially suitable for a Mother's Day card. Lots of nice pinks and purples and aqua blues. We've got lots of flowers. We've got the Kaisercraft 10 pack of cards that's going to be in the kit. They're a nice high quality cardstock. We're working with this number 6 page from Mintay and this number 5 page from Mintay, which is Fussy Cutting Flowers. We're also working with a page of Mother's Day sentiments. They all say Happy Mother's Day, but they're in different shapes, and we're going to be using these on our cards today. So our first job is to do a lot of fussy cutting. We're going to need the sentiments cut out, the floral clusters cut out, and the frames all cut out from these pages. So here's my frames. You'll only need 10 of those. My fussy cutting of the floral clusters. Just cut out as many as you can of those. I managed to cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 pieces, and then I had a few little bits of leaves and flowers left over. So there's plenty of floral clusters on that page that you can use on your cards. Then I cut out all of the sentiments. So when you are fussy cutting, it's a good idea to just cut roughly around the sentiment first so that you have a smaller piece of cardstock to work with. And then you can trim it down. I just left a small white border around mine. So when I was cutting it, just allowed for that little bit of white border around the edge. If you're having trouble, have a good close look at your scissors. They might be not suitable for delicate cutting. The scissors that I use are from Close to My Heart. I'll put a link in the video below of where you can get those. We're also going to be using some sparkly half-back pearls and half-back diamantes. We're going to be using a few different varieties of lace on our cards. And of course, lots of flowers. Alright, so let's get started. Here's our sketch that we're going to be following. You need to choose 10 pieces of cardstock from the 6x6 paper pad. One piece for each of the cards. Here's our cards and envelopes. This is all in your kit, so everything that you see in this video apart from adhesives and recycled cardboard is in your kit. So I chose 2 of each of the same colours for my cards. It's 10 pieces altogether. We're going to do 2 cuts on our 6x6 paper pieces. The first cut is at 2.5 inches. The second cut is at 2 inches. This will give you 3 pieces of paper, your 2.5 inch piece, your 2 inch piece, and then a scrap. So for each card you'll need a 2.5 inch piece and a 2 inch piece. So go through all of your 10 pages and cut at 2.5 and 2 inches. This is going to give you 10 pieces of the 2.5 inch, 10 pieces of the 2 inch. Time now to lay out your cards. Just check that you've got your cards the right way. Sometimes I will make a card and then I'll realize that it opens the wrong way. So as you're laying your cards out on your table, just open them and just double check that you've got them facing up correctly the right way. Now we are going to begin the process of choosing which patterned papers will go on our cards. This is one of the really fun parts about designing these cards. You get to look at the pictures and the colors and decide which ones you're going to use, which ones you're going to glue down. And this is, you know, a kind of creative process that's up to you. The bottom piece of cardstock or paper is the 2.5 inch, and then the top section of the paper is the 2 inch. So you're going to have a 1/2 inch overlap, which is where you're going to be gluing that together. So you're now choosing which papers you like to go with the bottom rectangle. So which ones do you want to go together? And you can sort of swap these around. Do you like stripes with floral? Do you like vines with pink? Do you like the aqua color? You know, this is sort of a creative process where you are designing the background papers of your card. So I'm gluing on the 2.5 inch strip at the bottom half of the card, and then the 2 inch strip will go at the top part of the card and it will overlap the bottom half. So just popping that over the top. Now you'll see you've got a nice white border edge around the edges of each card. So you can see a thin white border. So there goes my bottom 2.5 strip. And now I'm gluing on my top half strip, which is the 2 inch. So it's the smaller of the two. So we're overlapping 1/2 inch. We're now going to go through and do all 10 of our cards. Glue the bottom 2.5 inch strip on first, then glue the top 2 inch strip on second. And that's covering up your overlap in the middle. Beautiful colours in this collection of papers. Really perfect for Mother's Day, because Mother's Day is traditionally a lot of pinks and purples and pastel colours. These cards would be so beautiful to give mum or grandma or somebody special on Mother's Day. So the next part of the creation process is choosing a frame for each of the cards. You can choose contrasting colours, or you can choose coordinating colours, picking up something in the background papers. The frames are all beautiful, so it really doesn't matter which one you choose. Then we have, you see on our sketch, we've got this big fussy cut floral cluster, so we're going to choose a fussy cut floral cluster for each card. Now you'll see that some of them have a straight edge because they would have been cut on the edge. That's okay to still use. We'll just cover up that straight edge. If it's a little smaller floral cluster, you can use 2 on the one page, on the one card, and that's the way I did it with some of the smaller ones, just to bulk up the card a little bit. Now these are the perfect fussy cutting floral cluster you could have. There's like leaves, there's roses, there's little buds. It's just the perfect arrangement. So it really does suit Mother's Day. Mother's Day is all about flowers. The next thing is the sentiments. We're going to choose which sentiment you would like on each card. Again, a little bit of creativity going in here while you play around with your perfect design. I've designed these sentiments so that the colours match this collection. So it's just a sort of light purple colour in the middle of each of the sentiments. Now I'm starting to think about flowers. You will get exactly the same flowers that I have got in this kit. You need to cut the stem off. For these pink ones, I like to take that yellow center out because I think it's a bit yuck. And I like to change it up for a flat back pearl or a diamante because I think that looks prettier. So to do that, you just need to glue that on to the center of the flower. So you'll get these little diamantes in the kit. For this flower, you need to pull this green little bit off, and that releases that little yellow bit. That's a slightly different flower. And then you can put your little diamante or your flat back pearl in the center. I've included a variety of different flowers, some different styles, some different colors in the kit. This allows each card to be unique. So you can choose which flower you prefer on each of your cards. I'm going to be just using some recycled cardboard to create some layers on my cards. You could use recycled cardboard from an old box, or you could use some foam mounting tape or some foam dots. Turn your frames over and glue the cardboard onto the back of each of those frames. Now we're going to turn those frames back over, but we're not going to glue them down yet. We're just mounting them on the cardboard in this step. Just cutting some smaller pieces of cardboard that we're going to use for the backs of the sentiments. If you want your cards to remain really flat to go inside envelopes, then you're best not to put so much cardboard in between the layers. Just layer your layers straight on top of each other, and then they'll fit more They'll be much flatter and they'll be easier to fit inside an envelope. Just turning our sentiment over now. They're looking so pretty already. Inside your kit, you'll find 10 pieces of crinkly ribbon. 5 of the crinkly ribbon is the light purple, and 5 pieces of the crinkly ribbon is the darker purple. There's going to be 1 ribbon per card, so there's 10 pieces of ribbon altogether, and you just need to tie each one of those pieces into a bow so that we can glue them onto our card underneath our flowers. Inside the kit, I have also included little pieces of our lace. So this has got enough lace on it to just stick at the side of each of the frames. And there's a variety of different types of lace in the kit. This is one type of lace there. Then we have this one here with the little balls. That's more of a sort of boho. And then we've got this one here. So there's 3 different types of lace in your kit. It's already pre-cut for you. All you need to do is just carefully put a line of glue on the join between the 2 papers and then spread that lace on top of the line of glue. If you don't like to use glue because you might find it's a little bit tricky to get a nice straight line and no excess glue at the top or the bottom of the lace, then by all means use a double-sided tape to attach your lace. You can see how there's that little gap in the middle, and that's where the frame will go. Then we'll have our fussy cut flower, our sentiment, we'll have our bow and our flower. And we'll also be using some white twine for our bows. So that's again a part of the kit. It's all cut ready for you. You just need to tie it into a bow and pop it underneath your flower on top of the crinkled ribbon. Now I had a little play around with whether I wanted my flower at the side or whether I wanted it sort of in the corner. You can have a little play with where you like your flower the best. It's gluing on the fussy cut floral cluster. There's option 1 at the side. Option 2 for the flower would be more in the corner of the frame. That's another option for where you might like your flower, but I think I'm going to put mine in the middle of the card to balance it out. You might choose different. You might like it down in that bottom corner more. Let's glue the sentiment on. So we've got that in position. I'm going to put the glue on top of the lace. So that's smack bang in the middle of the card. I'm gluing the ribbon first, then the twine bow, and then last of all I will put my flower on top of the ribbon and the bow and the twine bow. So just one petal at a time, a little bit of glue in between each petal. And then I'm choosing a flat back pearl for this dark pink flower. And I'm gluing that into the very center of the bow of the flower. Beautiful. Well, that's 1 down and 9 to go. Let's move on to our next card now. So taking everything off first so that we've got some space. First step is to glue down our lace onto the little tiny paper join between the two papers. Gluing that down. Gluing that one down in the middle, the frame in the middle. Making our bow with the crinkled ribbon. Making our bow with the white twine. Gluing down our fussy cut image, gluing down our sentiment. Gluing down our bows and our flower. And that's looking gorgeous. Moving on to our next card now. Gluing down our lace on one side. Gluing down our lace on the other side. Gluing down the frame. Making the bow. Making the other bow. Let's glue those bows down. Taking that little center, taking the back off the flower, and that center falls out. Replace that center with the pearl, the flat back pearl. Beautiful. Moving on to our next card now. 2 pieces of lace on the join of our papers. Our frame in the center of those 2 pieces. Our fussy cut image. Note how we have a straight edge on that because it was cut from the edge of the paper. So we cover that straight edge with the sentiment. And you don't even know that that was a straight edge. Our ribbons and our flowers petal by petal, and then a silver diamante. Again, our 2 lace pieces. Our cardboard frame, floral fussy cutting cluster, 2 bows, a flower, our center of the flower, and we're done. So it's getting really easy now. We're just following the same process for each card over and over again until we get to the end of our 10 cards. Now, this one here, we're using 2 floral clusters. This is because they weren't all large floral clusters on that page, but there was plenty of little ones which you can combine together and then hide the join with the sentiment. Moving on to our next card, another double fussy cut floral cluster. They look really pretty. Those flowers are just beautiful. Gluing on our bows, gluing on our flower petal by petal, and then a pearl center, trimming our edges. Now you may think, I don't really need 10 Mother's Day cards, but I'm thinking that you could easily give one to your mother, give one to your grandmother if you have any grandmothers. You know, sometimes we can need up to 4 or 5 Mother's Day cards on the one day, depending on how many of the special people we have in our lives that are still with us. You could also sell the leftover Mother's Day cards to people that you know, friends and family. if you do choose to do that, I would suggest maybe $5 for your card, and that way you could make back the money that you paid for the kit. Alternatively, if you wanted to, you and a friend could go halves in a kit and create 5 cards each, and then you could sit down and have a lovely card making session together. So there's certainly a few options there for utilizing 10 Mother's Day cards. The other option is, of course, you could just change the sentiment to a different sentiment that you had at home and create a birthday card if you didn't think you're going to need all of those at once. On to our last card now, putting on the flower petals and adding our sentiment, trimming our edges. Alright, so we've finished the fronts of all of our cards now and they're looking beautiful. This is in your kit. This is a Cocoa Vanilla Butterfly page. If you would like to add a butterfly to your page, fussy cut out those butterflies and then you can stick those onto your card. This is a little bit optional, but I have put a sheet in the kit for you in case you wanted to add a butterfly to your card, because mums and grandmas often do like butterflies. So there's a variety of colours here. Our next step now is to choose papers for the inside of our card. So you will need 10 papers for the inside of your cards, and this will pretty much use up the last pages in your paper pack. And we will be trimming those to 4 1/16 of an inch. So trim down all of those 10 papers that you've chosen. We're going to use the sides that have the least amount of decoration so that people can write on the card and you can write on the card. So going through and gluing in all of those pages, and we are choosing the most plainest image or the image that has space for writing a message in the card. And here's a close-up of our beautiful cards. They just are lovely for mum. I can see them bringing a smile to our mothers' faces and our grandmothers' faces, and they really are pretty. They're perfect for Mother's Day. They're just a beautiful color scheme with the pink and the purple, and they've got enough little bits and pieces there to give the card some interest and texture. But we've also made them as a bulk lot. So we've made 10 cards, which is huge. And we've got a huge stash for Mother's Day that we can either give away or we could sell to family and friends to give to their mums. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and I hope it's inspired you to have a play with the Mintay Graceful collection. If you did want to purchase a kit, please pop on over to my website at www.papercraftsecrets.com.au. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and have a lovely crafty day.